Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming today. If you will, just look around and greet people, specifically people you don't know. Welcome them to UUCP. Welcome, welcome. We love new faces here, and old ones, and young ones. We love them all. And now I'll play the 8 Principles video. This is a good representation of who we are as a church, as a people, as a faith, if you will. We have a couple of announcements this morning. First, the pagan group will be meeting in the teen room after service. So we'll have service, and then we have some treats just over in the conference area for everybody. And then shortly after that will be the pagan group meeting. So everyone is welcome. Also, big announcement, been waiting for this one for a couple of months now. Sunday Sweets is next Sunday. Yeah. If you don't know, that's a good little fundraiser for us, so bring some cash. Also, new guests get a free piece of something, so bring a friend or friends. And I don't think I said, but I'm Mary Beth. My pronouns are she and her. I'll be taking you through today's journey with the help of another. So I want to have, if Laura could help me light the chalice. And I'll share some opening words that I found by Mark Jenkins. Adventure is a path, real adventure, self-determined, self-motivated, often risky, forces you to have first-hand encounters with the world the way it is, not the way you imagine it. Your body will collide with the earth, and you will bear witness. In this way, you will be compelled to grapple with the limitless kindness and bottomless cruelty of humankind, and perhaps realize that you yourself are capable of both. This will challenge you. Nothing will ever again be black and white. So if you could stand, if you're willing, and able, if you'll stand with me, and we'll read the covenant together. Love is the spirit of the church, and service is law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And if you'll stay standing, and we have a song, an opening hymn led by Laura and choir and Mike, and it is the dark blue-gray-ish hymnal, page 190. Light of Ages. seated. Oh yeah, the ladies will stay. At this time, we're going to have our offertory, and the ladies of the choir are going to sing a round. And as the greeters come up, if I could just tell everyone that we are, as a church, we are member funded. So we run off of you. Your time, your talent, and your treasure, whatever you have available is greatly appreciated. So whatever you can give, we appreciate it. Thank you. If you'll join me and Mike, and we'll sing the children out now. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. And now it's my privilege, honor, to introduce our speaker today. He's a member here, a very valuable one, because he brings a lot of the goodies and treats that we enjoy after church, so he's definitely one of my favorites. But thank you for that and all you do. But he's here to talk about his observations from several of, probably a lot of trips that he's gone on. So please welcome Jack Comstock.
Thank you. And today I'm going to be talking about some trips that I made to Asia. And I have to do this. In 1976, as a young sugarcane pathologist working in Hawaii, I went to Fiji and visited the agriculture experiment station that was operated by the Fiji Sugar Corporation. And this was the first of many trips. On the left is Krishna Murphy. He was the director of the station, and he was also the plant breeder, and he was a tissue culture expert. On the right is Mr. Reddy, and he was a sugarcane pathologist. In Fiji at the time, they had two diseases: Fiji disease, which was caused by a virus, and then also downy mildew, which was caused by a fungus. These were quite serious diseases that weren't present in the U.S., either in Hawaii or on the mainland. So they were something that we were concerned about. Christian Murphy was an excellent host. He showed me around the island. We're visiting sugarcane fields and that. He was also showed me different cultural aspects. At the time, there was a visiting Chinese acrobatic group visiting visiting Fiji from China, mainland China. And he took me to a local stadium, and there he abandoned me because he was sitting in the group of the local celebrities. He liked status. I sat in the bleachers, and the performance program got underway, and there was a song. And some of the people stood up, maybe 20%. And I really didn't understand what was going on. I asked the guy next to me, what's happening? And he said, I think it's the national song. And he said it that way. And I was a little shocked. But Fiji had just become an independent country 6 years earlier. Whoops, okay, there. This is a house. When we went around the island along the coastal highway, we saw this house, and it doesn't look like the Ritz. And also, in this particular slide, you can see two kids standing at the bus stop. The sign does say bus stop. And then the woman, the native Fijian woman, is on the roadside, and Krishna Murphy stopped because the plants you see are actually sugarcane tops that are flowering. Although in this particular case, the Saccharum eduli, which is the name of the species, the flowers don't emerge. So the flowers are tied up within the spindle leaves. This can be the flowers can actually be served as a food. And they're dissected out, and then when they're cooked, they have a very fine texture of like dry sawdust. And the taste is about the same, only worse. I've had it only once, and that was enough. Okay. And the town of Lautoka, where the sugar experiment station was and the mill was, is very small. At the time, it was probably about 50,000 people. And you can see some of the people, the buses, and they take the people all over the island. So that's the means of transportation, because cars at that time weren't that abundant. I noticed at the time, I saw 3 albino people in the week that I was there. And I was young at the time, so in the 33 years of my life, I had only seen 3 albinos during that whole time span. So this shows you that in this island community where the native Fijians came in, The gene pool was small, but they did have a gene for albinism, so that this disease is controlled by a single locus, and you have to have a recessive gene from each of your parents to have no pigmentation. Very interesting. The population, there are two ethnic groups, the native Fijians and the Indo-Fijians, or people that came from India in the 1880s to work on the sugar plantations. The population was equal, 50-50 at the time. And that led sometimes to political problems. There were coups in the 1980s. But the major problem for causing problems was under British rule in the 1870s, only native Fijians could own land, which meant the ethnic Indians, Fijians, were at a disadvantage. Now the population is only 44% Indian Fijians and 54% native Fijians. Indian Fijians, if they have the economic ability, they will leave, or they're leaving. Also, if they have the economic ability, they can send their children to another Commonwealth country. And this is what happened to Christopher Murphy. He left and worked several years for a private company in Thailand, and I saw him there during travels as a sugarcane breeder. He eventually went to India and set up a business there where he was actually breeding sugarcane. So the laws have effects. The Sikh temple that I saw, because there would be Indian Sikhs, also Hindus, a Hindu temple. The native Fijians are primarily Methodist. I don't understand why, but they were missionaries from England and also Australia, brought Christianity to the islands, and they had success with the native Fijians. They had minimal success with the Indians. So you have the religious difference also. I was very much impressed by the physical stature of the native Fijians. They were very athletic. Here they're playing either soccer or rugby. And in life, at times, sometimes opportunities develop. In 2016, rugby began as an Olympic sport. Fiji sent a team, and they won a medal, a gold. In 2020, they sent their team again. They won another medal, another gold. So when I say they were athletic, they are athletic. So very interesting that way. Okay. They know the words now of the national anthem. The last slide I want to show is the last time I saw Christopher Murphy was not in Fiji or Thailand, but it was actually in China. In, I think 2014, there was a meeting in Nanning, China, and he went to that. Here we are visiting Nanning University, and the young Chinese students are in the pathology students in the department there. So Christopher Murphy is the man with the cane. He aged a little bit. And about a year and a half later, he passed away. And After that, the Agriculture Experiment Station in Fiji named the tissue culture lab in his honor. He always liked status. Okay, the next country I want to talk to you about is Thailand. I visited Thailand several times, the first time in 1986, but this is, when you go to Thailand, you will see statues of Buddha, and you'll see temples. Trust me, they're everywhere. And the country is about 95% Buddhist. There are other religions, but they're primarily Buddhist, and it permeates the whole culture. And I was invited there because I was going to be traveling overseas to India. So I was invited by Bopit Tong Wong Kit. He is the man seated next to me in a yellow shirt. He is a professor at Kasetar University at the agricultural campus. This is his extended family. Pictured next to him is his youngest daughter, and a man from the big heavyset man is a technician at the farm machinery department. The person at the head of the table is probably now his son-in-law. It was his daughter's fiance who's seated next to him, and then his son, who's a very young person, and then his wife, Dr. Tong Wong Kit. There are 6 PhDs at that table. All of his wife has a PhD, and his children both have PhDs, and there are professors at the same university. His wife, Rantanan, retired, but she works every day. And the young woman at the front of the table here is a professor also in the department, and Thai people have names that you can never pronounce. They all have nicknames which aren't related to their names. It's Dr. Jha, a very nice person. So, in 2016, Bopit retired. And they have parties, and he likes to party. So they had a retirement party for him. So you can see him on the lower left is his wife and mother-in-law who attended, amongst other people, of course. And you can see him in the lower right. In Thailand, they have traditions where they show respect. And Bopit is seated, and all of his former students and present students would come up and thank him in a sign of respect and thankfulness for what he had done for them. So this is common. In 2016, I was in Thailand about 3 months after the king had died. The king had been on the throne for 70 years. He was actually born in America when his parents were students, but he was very revered, and he had power by just suggestion. And so there were displays. This is actually at a shopping center, a mall, and the music came on at 6:30 at night after an announcement, and everybody stopped. And they had a program, and then they stood in line to sign the memory book and to purchase pictures of the late king. Notice a lot of people are wearing black. They mourned for at least 6 months. And everywhere, this is at the university, everywhere they had displays honoring the past king. Everywhere. Even on the streets and at every entryway to a factory or so, they had displays honoring the king. And this is in this year, the university, they brought back older faculty members that had retired in the past. And this is a professor that had helped Bo Pitt early in his career. And again, they go through this process and to show respect. And you can see Bo Pitt there, his two children who are professors at the university, and his wife is sort of peeking in between them. So the whole family was honoring this man. So it's something we don't do enough, I think, in the United States. So very nice. This was for a celebration of Songkran. It's Thailand's New Year. Thailand uses the same calendar we do for for business and that, but for religious aspects, they have a New Year that's different. They're in year 4000. So it's, but Songkran is the beginning of the New Year, and they celebrate. The entire country shuts down and celebrates. And we went to Chiang Mai, which is a city in the north, at a little higher elevation, so it's cooler. And they have these parades. Every temple in Chiang Mai would have people in the parade with relics. So it goes on for hours because there's well over 100, maybe 200 temples. And this isn't the exact same attitude. It's a water celebration. Like when I was in Hawaii, they would have New Year's, you would go to the temples at 5:12, and the priest would bless you by pouring water on your hands. So this is people with semi-automatic water guns. So, and this is another temple. So each temple would have a procession. This shows Bo Pitt pouring water on the hand, this one female participant from one of the groups. And on the other side. This shows that a lot of the the Buddha relics or statues were in the parade. And these things would be hundreds of years old. They're not. So this would go on, so that it was really impressive and interesting. Now, Thailand is very unique. It's a very interesting place, and the Buddhist influence is very impressive because there's temples absolutely everywhere, not just in Bangkok, but everywhere. And that it wasn't, it was common that if we would go to a restaurant with Bo Pitt, there would be students, particularly in the university town, that would give him, show respect. They would get up and so the people in Thailand are more tolerant, I think. They do have trans people. They do have gay people, and they are generally, that look like they're totally accepted. I don't see, I didn't see discrimination in the country. Even there are some Muslims that are that you could see, but there's not the discrimination in that. So it's very, very nice to see that, and to see different cultures, and to visit people of that time. And that's all that I have because of time. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, well, if you guys are willing and able to stand, we'll bring the choir back up for closing hymn, and Mike, Laura, and choir will lead us in number 1064 in the Teal book, and it's Blue Boat Home, number 1064. Just some short closing words by Marcel Proust. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Thank you so much for joining us. Go in peace.